So, if this progressive tax is so detrimental to the economy, so stifling the prosperity, then why have it? The answer is simple. Control. As long as minority groups can be selectively taxed, politicians can promise benefits to the majority. Benefits the politicians call pork, but an honest man would call a bribe. The tragedy is that all taxes always impose the heaviest burden on the poor. Tax a rich man, and the people he employs, or the places he shops, or those that enjoy his philanthropy, pay the price. Tax a corporation, and the customers, or the stockholders, or the suppliers, or the employees, pay the price. Tax tobacco, and the farmers pay the price. Tax investment, and everyone pays the price. But quashing prosperity with a progressive tax does have a political advantage. A rich man's vote comes at a high price. But a poor man's vote can be had for a $13 stimulus check and an empty promise.
Yeah.
A drowning man will grasp at any hand offered, even if it is the one that pushed him off the pier. We are now faced with a government that is expanding at an alarming rate. Never before has our politicians' power grab been so obvious, so transparent. Our elected officials seek to make us dependent upon them, and today, 1 in 6 Americans depends on the government for their income. The political class seeks to depress individual prosperity and replace it with homogeneous misery, where they are the gatekeepers of basic services, finance, and industry. If we accept their protection from their failures, then while claiming it is for our own good, they will tell us what to do, what to say, what to think, and what not to think. And why not? We are allowing them to establish that they are the nannies and we are the children. The questions asked are now answered. Our government has broken the constitutional chains that bound it and threatens to enslave us with invasive legislation, progressive taxation, and massive debt. You are here today because you recognize the danger and you feel a deep and patriotic urge to do something to save the Republic. That something can be found in the Declaration of Independence. To paraphrase, governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And experience shows that men are more inclined to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they have become accustomed. But when a long train of abuses reveals a plan to subjugate them to an absolute power, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. It is our right, our duty as citizens, to throw off the abuses of government and renew our commitment to our founding principles. We must accept personal responsibilities for our actions and declare again our independence. To these ends, we must have the audacity to stop hoping and start working for change. We must put aside the failed tax policies of the past. We must reassert our states' rights and shrink the federal government. We must engage ourselves in the political process, encourage those that are true and honest to campaign for political office, and support them with time and donations so that we are their only special interest. We must not fall prey to the empty promises of career politicians or place our hopes in something new and untried. Different is just different, not better. We must encourage our family, our friends, and our neighbors to vote. We must rebuild from within. Our house and its foundation are solid and strong. It is the furniture and paint that needs replacing. And so, we will focus on the weakest point, Congress. Fewer than 1 in 4 Americans thinks Congress is doing a good job. Probably nobody here. All that is needed for control is a 3/5 majority. That's only 321 unpopular representatives that we must either enlighten or replace. We must return our government to the bounds of the Constitution. Just as past generations have defended our freedom against threats foreign and domestic, so must we. This is our responsibility to future generations, our duty as citizens, and our privilege as free Americans. Some of you may ask, but what about the crises of today? Many of these crises are symptoms of the problem and not the problem itself. The cost of a mortgage or health insurance would not be an issue if you had more of your own money to pay for it. Yeah. Small businesses, the source of 70% of all new jobs, could hire and produce more if they could reinvest more of their own profits. The stock market and the retirement funds that dwell there would swell as American wealth pours in from foreign banks into the new tax haven of free America. You may wonder if your efforts have any consequence. The answer is absolutely yes. Independence is a gift you give yourself. It cannot be given to you by another. If you wait for your freedom to be laid at your feet, then you'll be waiting from when you pass from this life to the next. Act with honor, and you will be respected. Perhaps you are concerned that our numbers are too few to make a difference. How many people does it take to start a thing? 1 million? 1,000? 100? Try 56. It was 56 men who stood together and signed the Declaration of Independence. Our numbers are far greater, and our task is far easier than the birth of a nation. So there it is, placed before you. The common sense of the subject. As an individual, I accept my responsibilities and declare my independence as a citizen. And I am asking you, as a neighbor, I am imploring you. As a friend, I am pleading with you. And as a parent, I am praying that in your own best interest, you shoulder your responsibility, your duty as a citizen, and make your voice heard to help save the Republic. I trust you, and together we can lead by example. Our representatives will follow. So I ask you, and let us hear your answer plain and firm. Silent no more. Will you stand with me and declare your independence? Yeah! Then we stand, independent and together. Thank you. I salute you, and may God bless America.